Luna took a deep breath of the crisp mountain air as she stood at the edge of Jenny Lake. The water sparkled under the morning sun, reflecting the towering Grand Teton Mountains in the distance. Beside her stood her best friend, Monty the moose. His large antlers cast long shadows on the ground as he gazed at the landscape. "Wow, Monty! Look at those mountains! They're enormous!" Luna exclaimed, shielding her eyes from the bright sunlight. Monty nodded. "Those are the Grand Tetons. The highest peak, Grand Teton itself, is 13,775 feet tall. Can you imagine standing on top of it?" Luna's eyes widened. "That's so high! How did these mountains get here?" Monty grinned. "A long, long time ago, the Earth's crust cracked and shifted. Huge blocks of rock were pushed up while others dropped down, creating these jagged peaks. They're still growing even today." Luna's mouth fell open. "It's incredible! And what about this valley? It looks so different from the mountains." "That's Jackson Hole," Monty explained. "It was formed when the land on one side of the fault line dropped while the mountains rose. Now it's a wide, flat valley with grasslands, rivers, and forests." Luna bent down and dipped her hand into Jenny Lake. "This water is so cold and clear. Where does it come from?" Monty took a deep breath. "Most of the water here comes from melted snow in the mountains. When the snow melts in the spring, it flows down into rivers and lakes, creating a fresh water supply for animals and plants." "That's amazing," Luna said. "Speaking of plants, what kinds of trees grow here?" Monty lifted his head proudly. "Grand Teton is home to many trees, but the most common one is the lodgepole pine. They have tall, straight trunks and can live for hundreds of years. There are also Engelmann spruce, Douglas fir, and quaking aspen, which turn bright yellow in the fall." Luna looked up at the trees swaying gently in the wind. "They must have seen so much history. Do lots of animals live here too?" Monty chuckled. "Oh yes, besides moose like me, you might see elk, black bears, grizzly bears, bison, mountain lions, and even wolves." "Wolves?" Luna asked, her eyes lighting up. "What are they like?" "Wolves are incredible hunters," Monty said. "They live in packs and work together to find food. They communicate with howls which can be heard from miles away." As they walked along the lake, a distant bugling sound echoed through the valley. Luna stopped. "What was that?" Monty smiled. "That was an elk. They make that sound to communicate, especially during mating season. It's their way of saying, 'I'm here.'" Luna listened for another moment, then continued walking. Soon, she noticed small, tangent-colored animals grazing in the distance. "What are those?" she asked. "Those are pronghorns," Monty explained. "They are the fastest land animals in North America. They can run up to 60 miles per hour. "Whoa," Luna said. "That's faster than a car on some roads." They continued their adventure, climbing up a rocky hillside. Luna reached down and picked up a smooth stone. "Are these rocks as old as the mountains?" Monty nodded. "Some of the rocks here are over 2.7 billion years old. They've been through volcanoes, earthquakes, and glaciers." Luna turned the rock over in her hands. "I wish I could see what this place looked like back then." "Well," Monty said, "millions of years ago, this area was covered by a shallow sea. Over time, the land changed, and eventually, the mountains formed." Luna looked around at the towering peaks, imagining an ancient ocean where they now stood. "That's so cool! Nature changes so much over time." As they hiked higher, Monty suddenly stopped and sniffed the air. "Do you smell that?" Luna took a deep breath. "It smells kind of sweet and earthy." "That's sagebrush," Monty said. "It grows all over the valley. The leaves have a strong scent, especially in the summer." Luna reached out to touch the soft, silvery green leaves. "It's beautiful. Are there wildflowers here too?" "Oh, yes," Monty said. In the spring and summer, the park is full of wildflowers, Indian paintbrush, lupine, fireweed, and bluebells. It's like a rainbow covering the fields. Luna smiled as she imagined the valley bursting with color. I'd love to see that. The sun began to set, painting the sky in shades of orange and purple. Luna and Monty reached an open meadow where they lay down in the soft grass. Overhead, the first stars twinkled in the darkening sky. This park is just as beautiful at night, Luna whispered. Look at all the stars. Monty nodded. The sky is so clear here, you can see the Milky Way stretching across it. Grand Teton is one of the best places for stargazing. Luna sighed happily. I'm so glad we explored today. I learned so much about the mountains, the animals, and even the history of the land. Monty smiled. Grand Teton is full of surprises. There's always more to discover. Luna turned to her friend. Tomorrow, let's go even higher and see the view from the top. Monty chuckled. I can't wait. Every day in Grand Teton is an adventure. As the night deepened, Luna watched the stars shimmer above. She felt connected to the land, the animals, and the history of the park. She knew she would always treasure her adventures in Grand Teton National Park, and she couldn't wait to explore even more.